Where is the Qatari influence?
What's $200 billion in college institutions doing in our country from Qatar?
Okay, so you're telling me I could have a foreign country that actually gives me billions of dollars? I don't have to give billions of dollars to a foreign country? I kind of like that deal better.
Wow, what a stupid claim. It's all a big plot against America, against the West. They'll dominate you from the inside.
Why do radical Islamists hate America? Let me ask you that.
I don't care.
They hate America because of their ideology, because America symbolizes freedom, which in Islam, it's against this ideology. It seeks to prevail over other people. It's in their Quran in Surah 933. So they don't only hate America, they also hate the UK, they hate France, they hate every country that is not Sharia controlled.
These people are fucking trying to infiltrate and take over every nation that they come into. And they do, I don't care what anybody says, want to see every man, woman, and child in America either converted to Sharia law or fucking killed. It's their doctrine. So that's my position, and I'm happy to get into that with Owen, and thank you for having me.
Well, I'll take a brief moment here, and then I can really just respond to some of the things that he laid out. I think generally speaking, our relationship with Israel has cost us foreign policy-wise. I think that it's more than fair for Americans to be critical of Israel, considering that we subsidize its entire existence. We subsidize its healthcare, its education, and its military.
Americans don't subsidize the healthcare of Israelis. They don't subsidize the education system of Israel. The only thing that they do pay for, which comes back to them because it's a line of credit, is defense, security, that we have to specifically buy from them and only them. So America is technically getting richer off of Israel. They don't fund our healthcare system. They don't fund our schooling system. And they don't fund our welfare system. All of these are being paid for by Israelis and their tax money. What do you think? We're poor? You think we can't pay for things? That's the agreement Israel has with America. You give us a line of credit, and we use that line of credit to buy only from the United States.
With our tax dollars. And then on top of that, we provide additional military support as well. And if you look at our foreign policy for the last 30 years, you could even argue 40, it's been a disaster in the Middle East. And I think that that's mostly because of the influence of Israel over our foreign policy. Now, you could argue if this is just good intentions, the road to good intentions leading to hell, or you could argue that maybe Israel has something else going on with things like the Jeffrey Epstein client list, blackmailing our politicians, and of course, the influence of AIPAC over our Congress as well, which makes you wonder, if we do go to war with Iran, will Congress even vote for it? Will it matter? Will they say anything? Or will their AIPAC handlers tell them to shut up and let it happen? So I think it's time to re-examine our foreign policy. I think it's time for America to re-examine Israel's influence on our foreign policy. And I would say this is not opinion. This is just a matter of fact. And I don't know if anybody would disagree, but if you really care about Israel, or maybe more importantly, if you care about the people of Israel, then you have to realize that its current actions are putting them in a less safe position. And if you realize that America and its support of Israel is a necessity for Israel's existence, you must realize that in the current trend, in 10 to 20 years, there won't be any support of Israel.
It's also a necessity for America's existence, not only Israel's existence. We're just the last stronghold in the Middle East. If our stronghold is destroyed, what do you think they're going to do? You don't think they're going to move on to Europe and America? They say first the Saturday people, then the Sunday people. This doofus right here is a Sunday person, and he's going to get killed next.
The boomers and the older generations that were propagandized into supporting Israel all this time, not to be morbid, but it's true, they'll be dead. And the younger generations, who now you could argue are probably anti-Semitic, some of them, they won't want any support of Israel. So if you care about Israel, Netanyahu is the regime change that you need. And if you care about Israel, then you better realize if you don't change tact soon, 10 to 20 years, there will be no support from the United States of America. And I'd hate to see what happens to Israel after that.
Well, the reason why the younger generation lacks support for Israel is because Qatar has been funding American universities with billions and billions and billions of dollars, influencing their education system, putting exactly what they want in their minds. So at the end of the day, that's just a part of the plan. When they take over the politics, when they take over leadership positions, then their minds are going to be against Israel. That's just a part of the plot.
Rebuttal on Owen's opening would be his statement that the U.S. that Israel controls America. I think he said through AIPAC. This is a talking point that I hear all the time. AIPAC, they're somewhere around number 20th in lobbying, or 20th in donations, 199th to 200th in lobbying. We have so many other PACs from so many other countries, and I never hear the actual logical argument on how they control Congress, right? It's just a theory. It's a conspiracy theory. But now I will also say, I say this every time I make this point, I think all PACs should be illegal. So I do think that Israel does have influence, but so does the National Association of Realtors, the pharmaceutical industry, the healthcare industry, all these places, right? And there's dozens of them, almost a dozen, 2 dozen before you get to Israel. We have AAPAC, right? The American Arab Political Action Committee. Nobody bitches about them. You have Qatar that, comes through our college institutions, donates hundreds of billions of dollars over the past 20 years. Nobody talks about how that is influencing the youth of America to create these Free Palestine protests. You have the influence of George Soros-funded organizations and NGOs that are literally destroying our country. It's the shit that we can see with our eyes, right? You can actually see these things on the streets. But you don't hear people, I don't know. I don't know if Owen's covered this, but you don't hear people like Owen outraged about the influence Qatar has over our country and how it's destroying our nation. You only hear about AIPAC, and AIPAC is a political action committee, right? A political action committee run by Americans. It's American Israelis. And yeah, they're going to have their interests in Israel, just like the Italian PAC has their interest in Italy.
Hang on to the rest of your thought there. We're going to let Owen go ahead with his 2 minutes. Go ahead when you're ready, Owen.
Yeah, so this is fun Israeli propaganda that he is falling for. What influence does Qatar have over the United States of America?
You want me to rebuttal? I mean, well,
this guy is very, very, very unaware of the billions and billions of dollars that Qatar pours into American colleges to completely change the minds of younger people. You haven't seen the college students praising bin Laden? Where do you think that comes from? Comes from their college education that Qatar is paying for.
I just want to know. I don't know what you're talking about. Where is the Qatari influence?
What's $200 billion in college institutions doing in our country from Qatar?
Okay. So you're telling me that Qatar donates to our colleges? What does Israel give to our colleges?
I'm not sure. I'm sure you're going to tell me.
Oh, wonderful. So you're telling me I could have a foreign country that actually gives me billions of dollars? I don't have to give billions of dollars to a foreign country? I kind of like that deal better.
Wow, what a stupid claim. They do it so they do it so they can play you from the inside. Not to give you funds for no reason. There's a reasoning behind this. It's all a big plot against America, against the West. They'll dominate you from the inside.
But that doesn't answer the question. Where is the influence?
Well, I mean, like I just said, if you use common sense and deductive reasoning, you could see that Qatar, an enemy of America, that chance.
An enemy of America? You know, our most important air base is in Qatar.
Yeah,
you know, the base that we use to fuel Israel and deliver the military support is also in Qatar?
Yeah, you know where Bagram Air Base was? Yeah, we have bases in enemy territories. That's like the Tucker Carlson talk.
You realize that Qatar is a very strong ally of America, though. Like,
how
that's
are they
just
a strong ally of America? They're the number one sponsor of Hamas. They're sponsored.
I thought it was Iran.
No. They're an Iranian proxy. No.
Oh, Qatar's an Iranian proxy. Yeah, they don't have their own money. They don't have their own oil money. They don't have their own leadership. That's just clowns. That's just a clown comment.
But I mean, hold on. Why do you think that Qatar is our ally?
Who put this Qatar thought in your head?
Well, I'm saying no. What evidence do you have that they are an ally?
What evidence do you have that they're not? I can play this game all day long. They are a very strong ally.
Hold on. They chant death to America
Qatar?
In that region. Qatari leadership has been outspoken against America.
Hey, you know they chant death to America in Seattle too? Should we bomb Seattle? They chant death to America in Austin, Texas. Should I bomb Austin too? Should I call Netanyahu to bomb Austin because somebody chants death to America? Where did the words hurt you?
I love how Owen's debate tactic is a false equivalency off the rip. So in Seattle, if you have some liberal that chants death to America, it's the same thing as these literal radical Islamic terrorist organizations that are continually showing a pattern of behavior of animus towards this country. I mean, you just had a complete...
Qatar's defense minister, he once tweeted, Israel controls the United States and we should increase our influence on American decision makers. Qatar Foundation and other Doha-based initiatives have been accused of trying to shape U.S. policy and academic narratives. Some commentators say that the influence campaign furthers anti-Americanism and promotes hate speech. Former U.S. officials warned Qatar exports anti-American narratives via media and soft power channels. No, Qatar doesn't spew hate like Iran does, but what they do is they're trying to control America from the inside by giving billions of dollars to American institutions, to American colleges, and then once these generation grows up, you'll have the shittiest situation you've ever seen. And then this Owen right there is going to eat his hat.
Different radical terrorist group, but you had somebody in New Orleans that was in Texas that was radicalized, drive through New Orleans in January through a crowd of people with a fucking ISIS flag on the back of his car. I don't understand why you people don't take their words seriously. Like, where did their words hurt you? Their words hurt you when they create action. The fucking Jewish, the two Jewish, the Israeli ambassadors at the Jewish museum that were just shot a couple of weeks ago when some dickhead was screaming free Palestine, those words turned into actions, and that's when they hurt us on American soil. I have never seen somebody that's saying that they're supportive of Israel shooting up people in America or blowing up people in America or doing anything that hates America, because they don't chant death to America. They chant death. They chant America's our ally.
Why do radical Islamists hate America? Let me ask you that.
I don't care.
They hate America because of their ideology, because America symbolizes freedom, which in Islam, it's against this ideology. It seeks to prevail over other people. It's in their Quran in Surah 933. So they don't only hate America, they also hate the UK, they hate France, they hate every country that is not Sharia controlled. That's why they have a lot of animosity towards America, who's been the symbol of freedom for generations. And they know that in order to get Islam to the West, America is their first target. That's why America is the big Satan. But what's stopping that from happening? Israel, who is right in their way. A Jewish state that used to be colonized and controlled by the Arabs, by Umar II Khalifa. But because Jews control it now, it must be returned back to Islam. So once it's done with the Saturday people, then it's going to go to the Sunday people, the Christians, Americans, the West.
Okay, so that just shows you how ignorant you are, that you don't want to search for answers. That's great. I'm glad you responded like that. You don't care. Thank you.
I'm on Team America. They hate us, correct? As long as they hate us, I don't care why.
Okay.
If they hate us,
so you don't care why. You don't want to reach root causes, and so that's why you lose debates. The reason why radical Islam hates us is because of our support for Israel. Israel gets away with everything in the Middle East, any regime change they want, any death spree murder count that they want, and they get away with it all because here comes Big Brother America to back them up. That's why they hate us. That's why they call us Big Satan. If we didn't back Israel and all of their wars and all of their death, then they wouldn't hate us. They'd have nothing to do with us.
So why did they hate Israel?
I just told you why they hate Israel.
No, you said why they hate America. They hate America for supporting Israel. Why do they hate Israel?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe 50,000 dead Palestinians. That might be a good place to start.
Why do they commit terror attacks in the UK or in Sweden or in France or in Africa? Why do they do it? They don't have any connection to Israel. Why do they do it? Why do they kill themselves? If somebody doesn't follow their way of life, if it's a Shia or a Sunni, and one doesn't follow the other way of life, then what do you think is going to happen? It has nothing to do with Israel. It has to do with their sick ideology.
Or maybe regime change all over the world, Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya. I mean, I can go on, Syria.
In the past 50 years, how many terrorist attacks have happened in the name of radical Islam worldwide? Do you want to? I don't think you know the answer. I'll just tell you. Over 66,000. How many happened by Jews or Israel? Less than 50. So I'm saying I don't understand how you don't see the threat.
You're making this about Jews. This isn't about Jews.
Well,
this is
I
about
corrected
Israel and Iran's war and us being involved in it.
But I corrected. I said how many terrorist attacks have happened in the name of Israel, right? There's been under.
So are we debating Jews and Islam, or are we debating Iran and Israel's war and us being involved in it? I just want to try to figure this out.
Well, to get to the problem with Iran, you have to get to the, like you just said, get to the root cause, which
So
is
now you care about
radical Islam.
Okay.
Radical Islam, right?
Okay.
Radical Islam. The people who chant death to America, the people that call us a great Satan, they hate Israel because they're Jews. And yeah, you're right. They hate us because we support Israel. And this is a 3,000-year-old holy war. Every single attack in that region that has happened since, I don't know, like 1948 has been started by the Arabs, not the Israelis, right? Since the Arab-Israeli war, every single attack has been started by the Arabs. So if they're starting wars constantly and they're saying that they're showing you a pattern of behavior that they want war, they want to settle their differences with death and destruction, and then they chant death to America. That's why I said I don't care why they hate us, because I know that they hate us and I know how they solve problems with people they hate. And letting them enrich uranium to the point where they might have a nuclear weapon. A lot of people have this ignorant logical fallacy that they're not going to be able to fire a rocket from across the ocean at us. They don't need to. They can make a bomb, either put it with one of their cells that are already here or bring it over the border, and they can blow it up in one of our cities.
America is considered to be the big Satan, or the Satan, because Satan represents deception, moral decay, and arrogance. The US, in Iran's eyes, represents materialism, godlessness, imperialism. That's why Iran hates America. It's from a theological perspective. It has nothing to do with their influence in the Middle East. It's just an excuse because they know that that's what you'll think. But you're not taking a step back and looking at the bigger picture and saying, oh, it's stemming from the ideology of Islam. Guys, I'll attach the full debate in the description below because it's a 2-hour debate between these two. And I don't want to take their views. They don't have a lot of views on this one. I'll attach it, watch the full thing, come to a conclusion. I think they're also talking about conspiracy theories and 9/11 and many other things. So I'll attach the link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Please join the Discord. It's going to be attached in the link in the description. And if you want to support me financially, you can do so through Buy Me Coffee or Patreon. And you can also become a YouTube member and enjoy specific member perks. Thank you so much, and I'll see you again in the next video. Bye-bye.